In this video, we're going to be doing 7 tips for Loba's kit that you're probably not going to hear other places. There's been a lot of bad information flowing around about Loba, so I kind of feel like since she's becoming quickly one of my new mains alongside Watson, that maybe setting the record straight on a few things might be helpful to people. So first tip number 1. When you're using Loba, it's useful to know how far her ability reaches. Now, I talked about this in the last tip videos. You can see that by the right side. However, the important thing to know is you're going to usually be, if you're using it in the heat of battle, when you hit that angle, you're going to be around 60 to 70 meters on flat terrain. So when you're making your decisions about where to go, let's say I'm under fire right here and I'm trying to figure out where to go, quickly duck to cover, I now know that I can get to this cover right here, be ready to reposition, move back into a fight, or to just flee to heal. So you're looking at targets that are going to be around that 60 distance, because then, on the other hand, if you're trying to get to cover and you make the mistake of looking, say, this way, and you see, oh, this is off in the distance, but you don't think about it.
Something good here.
Then you go, boom, boom, boom. You land, you're out in cover. Any team that's firing on you is going to take you down instantly. So that's tip number 1. Know that you're always going to have about 60 to 70 meters of distance to work with. Now, one thing I do want to point out, there's been a video flying around about Octane's jump pad. You can see I've got one set up right there. Now, really quickly, I'm going to show you what happens when you hit an Octane jump pad, because people are trying to make this out to be a trick to gain extra distance. So, jump pad right there.
Throwing jump drive.
Oh, wow, it jumped up. Look how far I got from the jump pad. That's not very far. That's not a lot of value. Most of the time, if somebody does that, you're just going to go and have it immediately drop, because the same thing that makes you want to throw it at that 30-degree angle instead of the 45-degree angles, that sudden drop. So instead, if you're trying to get more value out of it, the best thing you can do with the jump pad, combine it with an air strafe, throw, find some nice little bunny hopping in and some air strafing and some movement with it to get to cover, but use that momentum that you had from the jump pad to get further. So if you see now, it's putting something close to it.
Jump pad
84
there.
meters, and that was moving upwards. So you're going to get a lot more value out of things by not trying to do tricks with the thing. Anytime you try to do a trick with Loba's ability, you're going to lose ground, you're going to lose distance. Now, one of the other things that can be extremely useful with Loba's abilities is using it to reposition a high ground.
Jump drive out.
Not like successfully. Loba works legend, and not just in the fact that she's got the loot. She is very much geared towards a mid to long range playstyle. So people who use weapons with higher accuracy are going to benefit from it. So using single fire flatline, hemlock, scout, wingman, things that you can put a lot of distance between yourself and your enemy are going to give you the most value out of the gift. Then you can use these weapons to their advantage. So enemy pushes up and you go and reposition to new high ground, gain more distance, and you can really prevent enemies from getting close to you. This is especially useful if you're up against enemies who, like most players in this game, want to run close range only weapons. So if you're a sniper specialist, if you're a scout or a hemlock specialist, wingman specialist to a lesser extent, because of course wingman you can only get up to 2x, right? You're going to benefit a lot from the kit. Now, one thing that she really shines in is the late game. Towards the late game, you can use her abilities not only to swap out your armors and whatnot, which I talked about in this last tip. If you are in late game and your team's in trouble, you can use it to steal armor and meds from other enemy teams, death boxes for quick shield swaps. But you can also, of course, those final rings, if you're running that mid-range specialist type kit, You can also be thinking about a weapon that you would want to swap for close range. So let's say you're running the Scout. You drop that alt, and you see there's an R99 and your secondary is a Mastiff or something, or there's a 301, or there's something that's going to provide you a little bit more DPS when things are at a range the Scout suffers at. You can use that to change the name of the game in the late game and completely take enemies by surprise, because they may be thinking, oh, this is a Scout squad. We need to force them into a close range engagement. However, they turn the corner, and now you're suddenly hitting them in the face with a freaking R99, a 301, whatever it is. You can use this to change out your gears. Or if you're running a sniper loadout, to change to smaller optics, as I did in the game with Ninja Caustic that I am showcasing in this current clip. So that's tip number 4, I think? 3 or 4? Tip number 5, and this one should be kind of obvious. Never ever use Loba's ability to push into an enemy. If you use it to push into an enemy, you're going to be a free kill almost every time for that enemy, because you have to put the bracelet on when you land, and then you have to aim. And by that point, if the enemy's any good, they've already turned on you, and they've already one-magged you, because you're slowed, you're immobile, you don't have a weapon out, you're a free kill. The better way to use it, if you are going to use it to push an enemy, is to look for the nearest piece of high ground above them that is out of their line of sight, and teleport to that. It makes for a very good flanking move.
Jump drive in position.
So you get high ground, you aim down, you work the sight lines, whatever you got to do, while your team's pushing from, say, that way if there's an enemy.
Let's go here.
And then you can use that high ground, and abuse it, and also have your way out and your way to protect yourself and all this other stuff. When 1v3ing as Loba, it's important to think about her ability and the long cooldown. You have 35 seconds, I believe. Is that the current cooldown? Let's see. I should know this.
Jump drive in position.
25 seconds. Excuse me. It's been a long day. Between ability uses. So you need to save it for the right moment, but you also need to not be shy about using it. If you are running a kit that benefits Loba, like I said, Scouts, Hemlocks, Wingmans, Snipers, you're in a 1v3 situation, your entire mindset should be isolate, punish, and take down. So sometimes you may be up close and personal. That's going to happen if you got to save your team or whatnot. But when you're trying to put distance between yourself and the enemy, use everything in your kit. Use those ranges, the sight lines, duck and peek, do whatever you got to, and just absolutely punish them with that range. It will make your life exponentially easier. And also, after you take down 1 or 2 guys, if you get a thirst off and you're in trouble, you can use that ult to shield swap and catch someone off guard if you can create enough distance using her ability. So this is, again, where thinking ahead, knowing your escape routes, knowing how far you have the portal, how far your ability can reach, and where you're going to go, where you're going to use it, and what you're going to use is going to help you to dominate. And those are my tips for Loba. I don't know how many I did. We'll go through when we are looking at this video, and we'll go from there. If you guys enjoyed the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know you want more of this content. I think I'm going to do a Watson one next, or maybe a mid-range weapon breakdown as a follow-up series to this one, to kind of show you my thoughts on weapon loadouts that are good for her, because again, this is kind of my playstyle, right? I specialize in mid to long range combat. My reaction time's a little slower than most players, so it's better for me to abuse at range and then up close just try to rely on as clean plays as possible. But I digress. what do you guys want to see? I'm gonna probably do something weapon related next, and then just let me know. And have a great one. Stay epic. Have a great week. I'm exhausted.